Good evening, Libby.
Good evening.
Good evening, Humphrey. Good evening, Justin. Oh, just asleep. I completely forgot what the plot was of New Earth. When they started banging on about, when he started saying, how do you cure that? How do you cure that? I genuinely couldn't remember. I couldn't recall anything about it, apart from the performances of David Tennant and Billy Piper. And that's what this episode was doing, wasn't it? No, don't do that. It's very brave, I think, because in Rose, what we did is we lent heavily into the nostalgia that would have been there about the Doctor, about the TARDIS, and for those of us in the know, about Spearhead from Space, which is an absolutely class regeneration story, which perfectly does the job.
What's Spearhead from Space?
It's the Third Doctor's first story, which if you look at the Third Doctor's first story and Rose together, they're almost identical stories. But Rusty Davies, what he was doing the perfect first story to return the Doctor. And I think the start of season 2, he's done something serious. Now, we know now that RTD is, almost the RTD template is to have a silly first episode. Have you noticed this? Like Shooty's first episode was Space Babies, of the season was Space Babies. We've got Partners in Crime to come. And we had this.
Partners in Crime.
Well, exactly.
Such a good episode.
So I think that is par for the course. But really, what's going on here is we're showcasing our two lead actors. And I think it's absolutely brilliant how the character of Rose and the confidence the programme has in Billy Piper has gone from high, you don't cast these people, to absolutely through the roof. Because Rose is carrying this episode, Billy Piper is carrying a lot of the heavy lift on this episode. She's the main baddie, essentially, throughout the whole of the episode. She also is got to be the person who almost validates the Doctor again, which she does. Although I've got to be honest, those early opening scenes, you wouldn't know this, but you know when they came out the TARDIS at the start, they went, applegrass and this, that and the other.
Yeah.
The day that they recorded that was so windy and so cold, they had to overdo all the dialogue and this, that and the other. And when you watch it like that, you realise they'd been absolutely blown about by the wind. Anyway, that's by the way.
Also, it's my favourite Doctor's first episode.
What do you mean?
It's
Tennant's first episode?
Yeah,
Or
the
the
first episode.
Well, as I said in my Christmas Invasion episode, I think the Christmas Invasion is actually Christopher Eccleston's last story. As opposed to David Tennant's first.
Also, can we just mention something?
Go on then.
Christmas Invasion is so long.
Okay.
Like most
Get
episodes,
used to it.
It's
You wait
about
till-
27 minutes.
You wait
let's
till
say.
Tennant's last episode of his first run. That goes on for about 3 days.
It's so long.
And the last 20 minutes of it, we'll just go around saying goodbye. Anyway, we'll come to that later. Listen. So Billy Piper's absolutely sublime here. Tennant is just given licence to be Tennant and to do his first proper performance as the Doctor, and he does a grand job, and he even gets that little moment, which I thought was a lot longer when I reminisced about this episode, where he gets to be Cassandra for a bit, and he goes, I'm beating out a samba. All that sort of stuff is absolutely great. And the interplay between them when this one's being Cassandra, one isn't. It's really nice just to showcase the chemistry between those two, and the chemistry's off the charts. I know that there's, in fandom, especially younger fandom, Drew, who won't watch this, but Drew, who is part of our family, bemoaned when Eki regenerated to Tennant and then completely fell in love with the Tenrose, as they refer to it. But there we go. So this is a great story. The makeup of the cats, I think, is absolutely fantastic. Seeing the face of Bo back, leaning into the new mythology of the show rather than the old mythology of the show, just going to show the confidence levels. But the thing I want to say here, and you won't know this, and it's entirely possible that some of you won't know this, is this. Zoe Wanamaker does the voice for Cassandra. And Zoe Wanamaker, Libby, back me up here. Zoe Wanamaker was a pretty big deal. Yeah?
Yeah, nodding.
She was in the most popular comedy programme of the time, which was called My Family, which was incredibly popular. Yeah. She played Robert Lindsay's wife.
Is that My Family? Is that My Family?
Yeah.
That was
called My Family. He was a dentist. She was the
one
thing.
with the kids that are really hilarious.
2.4 or...
No, not that.
You do your research. What I want to say is this. So when Zoe Wanamaker was in episode 2, End of the World, that was a fairly big deal because Zoe Wanamaker was a big deal. But of course you didn't actually see her. And I think there's a very, very subtle, quite clever piece of television here, which is you have Zoe Wanamaker playing Cassandra as fully formed human at the start, and then we go back with Chip as Cassandra at the end to see Zoe Wanamaker in the flesh, as it were. My terminology's all over the place here. that was actually a very, very clever piece of television there. And it again, in the same way that I think Bad Wolf sort of cements Doctor Who in the television landscape, this episode really cemented Doctor Who back in the television landscape. And like I say, when Tennant came in, that's what...
Outnumbered, that's what I was thinking of.
Outnumbered is the...
She's not in Outnumbered.
No, but my family, yeah. So there we go. A fine season opener. Is it a great story? No, it's not a great story. Is it a great set of performances? Yes, it's a great set of performances. What are you going to do now, Humphrey?